I'm Tracey Barnes-Priestley. Tonight on What's on Your Bucket List, we have the pleasure of joining a grandma and her two granddaughters for a behind-the-scenes, hands-on look at one of Humboldt County's most creative and colorful enterprises. After that, we join an energetic woman as she tries her hand hammering red-hot metal into a very useful shape. Coming up next on What's on Your Bucket List. We had so many interesting ideas from people who applied to be on the show. It was difficult to make our choices, but when it came to my first guest, Rita Wessa, the decision was downright easy. I was so impressed by your application when it first came in. I really want to go all the way back to the beginning, because when I read your application, it really touched my heart, and it also, I admired your perspective on life. So would you please share with our audience why you applied to be on this show?
Okay. Well, it's kind of twofold. My son passed away last April at the age of 38, and that was, as you can imagine, pretty devastating.
Awful.
And during that time, I also had my son-in-law living with us who had terminal cancer, and he died a month later. So it was really a difficult time. And my son left behind two daughters, Taya and Isabel. And when I read your segment in the paper, I just said, yeah, I'm gonna do this. We've had death in our family, but there's still life.
That's right.
And I want to continue to live it the best that I can, and I want to live it the best that I can for my family.
Good for you.
So,
now you have a bunch of grandkids.
yes.
How many?
And they are my second reason.
Yeah.
I have 10 grandchildren, aged 32 to 11. And I have 9 great-grandchildren, about 3 months to 16.
Oh my goodness.
So I've been both grandma and great-grandma for many years.
Yeah.
I want to be the best influence I can for them and their future. I want them to know that there's hope, regardless of the circumstances,
That's
that we
right.
continue on. And one of my favorite sayings is, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
I really like that.
I want them to know that anything is possible if
That's
they
right.
set their minds to it.
So we are in a beautiful surrounding, and I bet some people may have guessed where we are already, but you put this on your bucket list. Where are we, Rita?
We are at Holly Yashi, and I've been waiting a long time to be here and to go on this tour. And if you saw my bedroom wall, you would understand why. I have an entire wall with jewelry and bracelets and earrings.
Do you really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is really exciting, and I'm excited to do it with my grandchildren too, my
Yes.
2 granddaughters.
Yeah, it's fun that we can include them. I'm
Yeah.
glad they wanted to tag along. Shall we take the tour?
Sure.
All right. Our guide for the tour was none other than Paul Lubitz, who, along with Holly Hosterman, founded the very successful Holly Yashi many years ago. Holly Yashi is 38 years old,
Yes.
and tell me how you started.
Well, it was Holly and I in her living room, and we were sweethearts.
Okay.
And it was just kind of a wild idea. I was of an age that I thought, oh, I kind of need to do something. And she said, if you do jewelry, I'll join you.
But then along came niobium.
Yeah.
And then it was just trial and error.
It was lots of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of science, but a lot of failures. We had these colored earrings, and we went to a show, what do they call, trade show, this is back east, and we had lines outside our booth. And I had no idea that was normal.
And last question, but continuing to be able to produce in the United States, you seem to have a commitment.
We wanted the quality to be a certain level, and I think the only way you can do that is to have it under your nose.
Yeah, yeah.
And because of that, we have a dedicated group, some that have been here, as you heard, 29 years, some over 30 years.
Wow. No tour would be complete without understanding how Holly continues to create such stunning designs after all these years. I asked her where the inspiration comes from.
I think just the creative process comes from life, from observations, from influences in all kinds of, nature, visuals, exposure, and it's just kind of an awareness, I guess.
That makes sense, yeah.
Of kind of tuning into something that resonates, and then taking that idea and playing with it.
You've just flourished over the years, and a lot of businesses have wonderful ideas and are wonderfully creative, and they don't go the distance, and Holly Yashi has gone the distance and beyond. What do you think?
Well, God has blessed me,
Yeah.
for sure, and I thank Him every day for that. I have a great partner. Paul and I are very compatible. We have sort of different strengths, and we both have been very committed to the business from the get-go, even though we've gone through some really rough times, some ups and downs in all ways of a relationship over that long. But we have stuck together and believed in each other and trusted each other.
Yeah, that's amazing. Finally, it was time for the tour.
Hi, I'm Paul Lubitz. I'm the Yashi at Holly Yashi.
Hello.
Hi, Rita. Taya.
This is Taya, and this is Isabel, my granddaughters.
Oh, neat. Yeah. Well, we're going to start the tour right here. We start just like you start with a sketch with a rough draft, and we kind of keep cutting and developing until we have something as a unified look. Usually, you're going to laugh. We do this, and then when Holly walks by and what catches her eye is where we go in.
We followed Paul to the first production station.
Come on over, this is the water jet. What this is doing is, I'll make the water go down, but what it's doing is cutting out our pieces with a super fast beam of water. As I take the water down, you may get a little splash. Not too much. Can you see that? As it's going, it's cutting here. It's actually cutting the pieces.
Next, Paul showed us how they use a machine to round the edges of each piece of jewelry. Then, pieces are linked together with the tiniest bit of fine welding.
So every piece gets this treatment. And here's a done one. It should be, I hope it's smoother.
Yeah. Finally, we came to the area where the intricate assembly process of so many beautiful elements takes place.
This is our final assembly, and it's probably the most complex thing we do. It's a lot of very skilled handwork. And what Donna is working on right now are brand new butterflies that we use kind of a combination of processes on. Both the laser and the water jet that you just saw, and the coloring that you're going to get to do soon.
Our last stop was where the real Holly Yashi magic happens. Early on, Paul and Holly discovered that a dull gray metal niobium could be transformed into rich, beautiful hues simply by being dipped in an electrically charged water bath. The finished metal is then transformed into Holly's one-of-a-kind designs. To this day, this exquisite niobium jewelry is the signature style of Holly Yashi.
Now this is where the magic happens. It's a lot of fun, and Melissa can tell you how it happens when she's doing it. What Melissa is doing right now, she set a certain voltage and she's dipping the piece, and this is niobium, into a salt bath. It's just simply TSP and water that you clean your walls with. And she keeps changing the voltage, and notice that as she changes the voltage, it changes the color, and it happens that fast. Another volunteer here? Yeah. Yeah, she knows her stuff.
Isabel was curious to give it a try.
Well, that's kind of a purpley blue.
Oh, that's so pretty. Now that we'd seen the entire process, Paul took us back to their gift shop to look at a beautiful array of finished pieces.
Here, come over here and you'll see ones that you guys could have made.
With that, our tour was over. I asked Rita what she had thought about her bucket list experience.
I loved it.
Did you? What did you love about it?
Just the fact that I could appreciate all that goes into it. And just the years in the making that they had to put into it to make it what it is. It isn't just a pair of earrings, it's art.
It's art.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it is
art.
art. And what was it like to share it with the girls?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I love sharing anything with them.
We started to say our goodbyes, but the good folks at Holly Yashi had a surprise for Rita and her granddaughters.
We have some presents for our guests. So this is for Isabel. It's for Taya. And our bucket list.
Grandma.
Grandma.
Thank you. How sweet. Do you do this for everybody?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, have a cappuccino, have a free gift.
Yeah,
come in.
thank you. Thank you so much.
It was fun
for
having
the
you guys.
tour.
Well, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so now you have one more thing off your bucket list.
One more thing. Yeah. I'm planning on more.
Rita and her granddaughters will always remember her special bucket list experience. My next guest is Katrina Martin, who, like so many of us, came north to attend Humboldt State University.
I got a BS in chemistry with a focus on environmental toxicology.
Wow. I'm not even sure I can say that. What is environmental toxicology?
Poisons in the environment.
Well, that's a pretty good major to have in this day and age.
I thought so.
Well, we're checking off something pretty special today. What are we going to do today?
I have always wanted to try my hand at blacksmithing.
Blacksmithing. I think that's wonderful. What is it about blacksmithing that appeals?
I have been interested in all things handcrafted. I've always enjoyed medieval festivals and Renaissance fairs since I was young. I've read a lot of historical novels, mostly of the medieval time, and there's always a forge. And there's just been something that's fascinated me about fire and beating metal.
It does have a certain appeal, doesn't it?
I think so. I
agree with you on that one. All right, well, that's what we're doing today. We're here at the wonderful Blue Ox Millworks, who has graciously invited us in. You're going to have so much fun.
I am so honored to be here.
Oh, well, it's our honor. But I want to ask you one more question. For those of us in the second half of life, do you think that you are more adventuresome now, more willing to try new things, or were you more in your younger years?
I think the level of interest is probably the same. I think now I'm a little sharper at what I want to do and a little more cautious about doing it. So I'm more mindful, but I think my interest in living has not really changed much.
Okay, yeah. And so a couple of people have said, well, just being on television is a risk. So far, you're doing great.
My first time.
All right, but trying your hand with that, I mean, for some people it's like, oh, there's no way, but for you, that's just what?
I don't know, it just seems like a natural.
Yeah, a good fit?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go see if it is?
Oh, yay, let's go.
We were so fortunate to have a talented blacksmith and an excellent teacher, Patrick Hutchins, to help us check this experience off of Katrina's bucket list. I wondered how he landed at Blue Ox Millworks.
I've been here a little over a year, and I came up here, and a friend of mine, I was looking to move up here, back up here, and this has been my interest. It's something I've been doing on the side for a very long time. And a friend of mine said, hey, the Blue Ox does blacksmithing, and let me just give them a call. And they did, and they, told them about me, and they said, blacksmith? We're just about to lose our blacksmith because he has to go ways in the Coast Guard. He's being transferred. So they were about to lose their blacksmith, and so I came in, I brought some work, and had a conversation with Eric, and he said, great,
Welcome, huh?
you'll be our blacksmith. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations. It's a great place.
Thank you.
Great
It's,
place to land.
yeah,
Well,
it's a wonderful place.
I appreciate your time. I think now, why don't we let you work your magic and start teaching Katrina what
All
you
right.
do. Thank you so much.
Sounds great.
With that, Katrina and Patrick made their way into the blacksmith shop. For someone who loves medieval history and stories, Katrina took one look around, and it seemed like she was already having fun.
So the first thing that we want to do is pick the anvil that's appropriate for your height. So what you want is you pick an anvil that comes up to your knuckles when your arms are at your side. That looks like a pretty good fit. And then the second thing is you want to pick a hammer that is as heavy as you can swing for 10 to 15 seconds at a time.
And what am I going to be making today?
We are going to be making a hook. A hook very similar to this hook.
That's pretty small. Awesome.
So this hook features a tapered, it's tapered to a point, and this little curl at the end, and then there's the belly of the hook, and then we put a twist and we flatten the end. The first step is to draw the taper, the square, turn the square into a point, a square taper.
A square taper.
Square taper. And the way to do that is set it on the anvil. I like to tip it up a little bit. Keeps the heat from bleeding into the anvil. And you just strike each side, turning it 90 degrees each time. And have your hammer come down at an angle, not flat,
Right.
but at an angle, because you're trying to make these two sides converge.
My turn? Oh!
Katrina was so happy to finally get to pick up the hammer and pound that hot metal.
I was trying to do it as fast as you, but I need to slow down.
She really gave it her all.
Right in.
It's more malleable than I thought it would be.
And then
Wow.
once it loses its color,
Yeah.
put it back in there,
Wow.
because it moves a lot easier when it's glowing and yellow.
Wow! Oh, wow! I think I'm getting the hang of what I'm supposed to be doing mentally. Now I have to translate that into my hand.
Absolutely.
Oh, I think I'm making more of a mess. No.
That looks really good.
Thank you. What did you say?
Looks really good. I'd say you're a natural.
Oh, awesome.
You've been hammering upholstery though.
Yes, I
you
have.
said.
And so, am I ready now to take the edge off?
Yep. Yeah, break the corners. Definitely.
Break the corners. I love all the terminology. Except I can't see the corners now. Oh. And all the way down?
Yep, just from the start of the taper to all the way down. So there, the next step is to make that little curl at the end.
Oh, that little curl.
Yeah, little curl.
Okay, let's see how you do that.
Tap a little bit over the corner.
Uh-huh.
And then tap it back towards yourself, and it
Ooh.
rolls up. And then you can tighten those curves
Oh, man.
however much you want.
You make it look so easy. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I could do that. I am really impressed by how small the forge is. I somehow had envisioned that you had to have a big, huge firebox, but it makes total sense to have something small, smaller. And I'm thinking about setting something up in my backyard now.
Oh yeah.
And just like Patrick had showed her, Katrina bent that hot metal into a lovely little curl.
Oh, yay.
Then it was back to the anvil for the next step.
I'm happy with it. I don't want to break it off. Next?
Next, we're gonna forge the belly, which is a functional part of the hook.
Okay. Well, I think I lost my tip.
There you go. Yeah.
Well,
Now you can straighten that out.
a little bit on here, huh?
Kind of got a little twisted. You want to set it on the flat part of the anvil, and with a sweeping strike, go this way, but hit it flat.
Oh, here?
This way, like
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
like you were doing, like a.
Oh, I thought I lost my tip. It just got twisted. Is that good enough?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks great.
Awesome. Wahoo!
So then the next step is we're gonna put a twist in it.
Okay,
Give it a little
that
embellishment.
twist.
This is going great.
Yes, I think this
You're
is
a
going
natural.
great. Thank you.
You are, yeah. You're doing better than most of my students.
Awesome. There are some benefits
tell my
to
students.
aging that I had no clue, and I won't tell either. You'll just
Secret,
have to
yeah.
get here.
It's all part of the magic.
I am having so much fun, Patrick.
Awesome.
I'm glad you're here.
Me too. Thanks for coming.
Oh my gosh, I'm just so honored.
Katrina's enthusiasm easily carried her through the last few steps.
Ooh-wee!
Try to grip it close to.
Oh, closer up here, because otherwise I'm bending it. And I probably didn't go far enough through. But I know once you get it to wiggle,
Right.
it'll weaken it.
Yep, that's work hardening. A rough round.
You make that look really easy, and I have a feeling that this is going to be the most challenging one for me. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Okay, I'll do my best.
It was clear Katrina's concentration and focus were hard at work.
Too many
That's
misses.
Let's get straight. Nice.
And it sure paid off.
That'll work.
The last step to prevent the hook from rusting is to dip it into oil.
That's an environmental toxin. Not much. Wow. Are you hiring? This was cool. So cool.
Glad
Thank
you
you
enjoyed it.
so much. Man, this is awesome. And thank you.
Eric Hollenbeck, owner of Blue Ox Millworks, wanted to see what Katrina had made.
Oh my Lord, look at that tiny little scroll at the end.
I had
Oh
a
my
great
gosh.
teacher.
Oh my Lord, that's beautiful.
Patrick is a really great teacher. Yeah, and she's a natural.
And you are a more natural is right.
You did a great job. You've checked it off your bucket list.
I have.
You think you want to learn more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna make a dagger next.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh! We'll be back for that. Thank you
All right.
so much, Patrick. Thank you.
Thank
Really,
you. Thank you all.
it's
This was
been
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
It was great fun to see Katrina and Patrick join forces to check this off her bucket list. Thank you for joining us. You can watch this and other entertaining bucket list episodes online at keat.org. Now, what's on your bucket list? This show wouldn't have been possible without the many people behind the scenes, including the talented Sam Green and my amazing producing partner, Jan Ostrom. Thanks, team.